guys, it's been a long time coming, but I'm proud to announce that my hands are finally registered with the International Registry of Lethal Hands. This is the only place where your God-given gifts of danger can get the recognition that they truly deserve. Now you might be thinking, why on earth would anybody need to register their hands as lethal? Let me break it down for you. There are those among us whose hands are so downright dangerous, they need to be documented. Registration is a moral responsibility, and it's a vote for the greater good of humanity. The sole mission of the International Registry for Lethal Hands is to catalog the most formidable hands on the planet. So if you know someone, and you even suspect they possess lethal hands, do not hesitate. Register them immediately. And if you've ever looked at your own hands and thought, damn, these dogs are dangerous, don't settle. Go register. Head over to registeryourhands.com, fill out a simple form, and you're official. Remember, use the promo code Chael to save 20%, or just click on the link below. Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you the forbidden topic of Hollywood right now?
Please.
What's up with P. Diddy? Is this stuff real? Was this stuff known? Was it is this the thing? You know, when Matt Lauer went down, everybody on the inside is like, well, yeah, we all knew it, but that's Matt. And there is something to be said for that. Like there is things where times change and rules change, but until somebody really splashes you in the face with it. Cat Williams was calling this stuff out a long time ago, and everybody laughed and thought it was a joke. And there was another guy that was under oath, and he's floating around YouTube, and he was using it as a defense. I want to say maybe it's a bodyguard or something. But he was telling this to the police under oath, and nobody believed it. And it was a period of time ago. I mean, what is going on with Diddy? Is this guy getting out? Is this guy the next Weinstein? What do you think about this? And was it called a freak fest?
Yeah, freak fest and his white party and all that. You know, I met P. Diddy once, which is odd because, you know, he's here. You usually see a guy at parties or around, but I only met him once, and it was a very long time ago through a guy named Benny Medina, who was one of the creators of Fresh Prince, and a big music guy. And I remember thinking when I met him, he was a little arrogant, quite frankly. And I just didn't necessarily think he was very friendly, and I tried to talk to him and it just didn't work out, and I just chalked it up to whatever. Throughout the years, I would hear rumblings of like, you know, oh man, because you always thought like the P. Diddy party, I would kill to go to one of those. And I would hear some people in the know that would tell me, nah, it's kind of dark, bro. It's kind of freaky. Like he's not a good guy. And I never really thought much about it. And now that it's all coming out, you have the people like Cat Williams, this guy Orlando, he's an actor. I don't remember his last name, and now he has a podcast. He's been talking about it. Usher was apparently brought into that world at a very early age. In fact, and so was Justin Bieber, and subjected to party things that no kids should be subjected to, apparently, you know, allegedly. But I'm a believer, Chael, that where there's smoke, there's fire. And when there's enough about somebody like a Weinstein, like a Diddy, I think it's absolutely something is going on. And it's just, look, we saw the guy physically abuse that poor woman in the hotel. You know, he grabs her by the hair and drags her.
Oh.
I mean, what are you doing, bro? That tells me everything I need to know. But to see him do that, just it says everything about him. I don't like him very much. I don't like what I'm hearing. And I really think it's going to be uglier than we can all imagine. I think it's going to go deeper and deeper. And I think many people are going to be implicated. Many famous people will be implicated in the next 6 months as this information starts to roll out. And Chael, I think we're seeing the tip of the iceberg here.
No, it sounds like it. I mean, it's starting to sound like the things that we heard were true and we dismissed, or someone is trying to get themselves out of trouble and they bring in somebody like they're all starting to pan out. You do wonder how far that's going to go. I got to tell you, purely for conversation, I'm a very forbidden topic right now, but there is something to be said for disclosure. Like, just hear me out.
Yep.
If Diddy is doing some really weird things, but you have to advertise that. Like, if you're a weirdo, you must advertise it to meet other weirdos. And if you're throwing parties and these people are trying to come and they've heard about it, they've got a good idea of what's going on. I only share for you, like, whatever he's doing, if it does go back a period of time, I will be interested in ages. I will be interested in who was of consenting age, heard about this, and did everything they could do to get an invite. Versus who got taken advantage of. I mean, even J. Edgar Hoover, who founded the FBI, did it on blackmail. He planted the cameras. He knew who was who. He waited till they became senators or congressmen. I mean, these are very well documented things. They argue that's what Epstein did to get his powers, that he had videos, whether that's accurate or not. And now they're arguing that Diddy did the same thing, and whether he was a freak or he was leveraging people or it was both or something in between. It is the hottest drama out there, and I got to tell you, I enjoy the whole thing until I read about the minor. That changes things. If they did that to Bieber or they did it to any kid that was under 18, man, the rules are completely different.
Yeah, it turns into a whole other thing, right? You look at, Weinstein is terrible. I mean, it's absolutely terrible. Matt Lauer, whatever, but there was adults, right? It was adults. And I'm not saying it's, it's good. Clearly it's not. But like when kids are involved, it's a whole other level of depravity. And this guy, it just makes me sick. And, I really do hope that if there were kids involved, and it looks like there was, I mean, even some famous people, like I said, I think people were brought in at least to witness certain things, right? Cat Williams in his stand-up talks about going to a Diddy party and walking down the hallway, and he goes, you don't want to look in the wrong room. You know what I mean? You're going to see something that's going to shock you. And the way he did it was very funny because he stops and he goes, is that two dudes kissing? Is that this? Is that this? Is that, what am I looking at? Is what's happening here? Is that guy doing this to this person? What is, and, but it's like with kids, all bets are off. You're automatically just like, you put them away forever. And I got to tell you, I think what you're saying about like making sure that you protect yourself with NDAs and all those things, it's sort of anybody that has massive power, like they talk about Scientology, right? The Church of Scientology gets dirt on you in order to protect themselves, right? It's what they do. They tell you, you're not digging deep enough. Tell us more. What happened to you when you were a kid? Tell us the truth. What's the worst thing you've ever done? That is the basis for their work, Chael. They get dirt on you. So you can never say they did something because well, crap, this stuff's going to come out, right? So they get, and Diddy's got cameras. I mean, this stuff has got to be well documented. I think the amount of witnesses that were at these parties are going to be staggering. And I think there's going to be a lot of finger pointing. And I think it's going to get really dramatic real quick. I don't think we've seen anything yet, bro. Nothing.
I fully agree with you. And you do wonder how high it goes. Like, is this just pertain to media people who went on to become entertainers or A-level celebs or even media moguls? Or does it spill over, like Epstein, to people that are sitting in positions of power right now, that have the power of the pen, that have the power to influence juries or get to judges? I mean, that was the real problem with Epstein. Like, those things could not come out if they were so. You could not get before a jury. So it had to go another route. And I'm just sharing, like, Diddy does appear, whether it's ignorance or arrogance, he does appear to be rather confident in his position that he's not going to be having a long stay in Crossbar County. And I do think that that's one interesting thing. I mean, he was out flamboyant and showing himself about New York when they went and picked him up. Like, he does at least believe that he's got something on. It does appear that way. I wouldn't know. I'm just an outside observer, but it's very interesting, man. It's a very interesting time because all of these things that we believed were smut, they're now coming out. And by the way, you mentioned Cat Williams. When did he turn out to be so funny? I mean, you want to talk about a guy that did more for his own career in one interview. Oh my goodness, that guy's hilarious. I didn't know it. I did not know he was that funny till he came out with Shannon Sharp.
Right. Same. I was always like, Cat Williams, yeah, I don't know if he's really 100% my style. I like comedians. I didn't know that I loved him. And when any clip I watch of Cat Williams, love him or hate him, he is compelling and he is giving it raw. He does not care who he offends.
That's the thing. The greatest humor has a level of truth to it. I didn't know there was truth to Cat. I didn't know that. So now going back and watching his old, yet knowing that he's up there telling the truth, whether you're laughing or not.
Yep.
Compelling. I love that you use that word because that's the right word. It is so compelling now that we know that he really does know and he really wasn't joking, at least not all the time.
Yep, there was truth there and there was slip-ups. If you start seeing now on Instagram, lots of clips of just people saying like, I want to say somebody was in an interview in the Breakfast Club or whatever the radio show was, and somebody, like Diddy said something. Snoop was there. I know this. Diddy was there, Snoop was there, and somebody else. Oh, I think it was Usher, actually. And like Diddy was saying some things, and Usher was like, yeah, man, well, your parties are a whole other thing. I don't even want to talk about that. Like little comments now that seem benign in the moment, now are really having some weight to them. And I'm in for all of it. I'm seated in front of my TV, in front of my computer. Let's go. I can't wait for them to make the biopic. Who's going to play Diddy?
Yeah, who's going to want that job?
Who's going to want that job? Exactly.
Who's going to play Diddy?
Oh, my goodness.
Sure.